Dude, first things first. What is with the hair?
Look, I was going to cut it this morning, but Evie was having a bad morning, so I didn't have time.
So that means I gotta suffer because Evie's having a bad morning. I gotta look at that head because Evie's having a bad morning.
You're suffering?
Yes. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of Nintendo Talk. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Mr. Toby Thornton. I still got it, Toby.
You still got it, Bobby.
What is up, Toby?
What is up? I'm alright. How are you?
I was wondering if I was going to be able to hit that, but I did. That's years of practice, years of training.
Hit that.
Yeah, exactly.
That was like a 2005 song by Offspring.
Was it? I don't even know. Okay, I'll take your word for that. How you been, man? How you been?
Yeah, been alright.
A lot of people like miss you, man.
I miss a lot of people.
So here's the thing. Since you've been gone, I've actually become famous, and a lot of people know me now. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we have a lot more. I have a lot more subscribers now than we did. A lot more.
So Bobby, you're telling me the best thing that ever happened to you was me leaving?
No. Well, kind of, because when you left, I teamed up with Pat, and that actually worked out in my behalf. But no, I was always working with Pat before that. That's not true. But no, you and I, for those who don't know, sorry, I'm cleaning the lint off the back of my keyboard. For those that don't know, and it's kind of weird, you and I have done numerous podcasts before. People that have ventured to click play on this that don't know, I'm doing Breaking Bells now with Holly, and you actually introduced Holly and I together. We brought her on to our podcast at the time called the Geek Cast, which I was thinking maybe we should just do one special episode with me, you, Holly, and Alan, and just do like a reunion show.
I don't know. Do you think that's a good idea?
That'd be fun, man. Come on. That'd be so fun. I was talking to Sean about it the other day, right? And I was like, dude, because Sean and I do a podcast just exclusive for Patreon called You Me Capri. And during that, we were talking, and I was like, the best part of my mornings was watching you and Alan, like, bicker, like two little kids.
Yeah.
And the whole point was you were trying to get my love and affection. And it was like you guys are trying to one-up each other. And you would get so offended by Alan's stuff. It was the best.
Too right.
he would just get under your skin so bad. So anyway, Toby, it's been a while. I don't know if we could do this, but let's try. Man, it's let's do something. Let's kick the show off like we used to kick off each and every show with our Geek Outs.
Geek Outs!
So what do you got? What do you got for me? What are you geeking out about? I'm
geeking out about Zelda ROM hacks.
Oh, God.
And so Link to the Past, right? Mm-hmm. There's a couple of famous Zelda ROM hacks that you can get for that. One is called Parallel Worlds, and one's called Goddess of Wisdom, I think. Mm-hmm. And you can actually buy them on a reproduction Super Nintendo cartridge that works in your Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
They've made special box art for it, so it looks like an official game and everything.
Ooh. So
it's like anyone that's craving a new Link to the Past style pixel art adventure.
Oh, that's crazy. And it plays on your Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's pretty cool.
It's just, they're just hacking the original and reprogramming it and everything. They say it won't work on a Retron 5 though, because that uses emulation. Yeah. It has to be proper hardware.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So I'm geeking out about something. Just give me a second. I'm going to grab it real quick because I think you, of all people, would love this. It's right here. It's right here. I just got to reach out. I don't want to pull the whole. I don't want to pull the whole computer off the desk. So let me just.
Dude, I do
right
that
here.
so often. I have headphones.
I got two things I'm geeking out about. This is the first thing because this is something special that you would love. You would love this. I picked up this. I got this last weekend. The Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Special Edition game. And it is just glorious. It comes with an art book. As you can see on the back, comes with an art book.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it comes with the game, physical game. I bought, the crazy thing was, I didn't buy it. I didn't pre-order it.
I was going to say, I didn't think you were triple dipping.
No, I wasn't going to. And then I saw Joe after work with it, right? He was streaming it one day, and he showed it. I was like, oh, my God, that is amazing, right? So I was like, I got to get it. And then the next day, that was a Friday night. The next day, I went on Best Buy. It was sold out. I went on Amazon, and they still had them. Oh. I ordered it Friday, or I ordered it Saturday, and I got it Sunday. So Amazon actually came through on this one. Most stuff they've been dropping the ball with for me, but this was actually really good. The other thing that I'm geeking out about is in a few hours from now, I will be recording, I will be streaming live on Twitch, doing a show that I tried Friday night. So I stream Animal Crossing on YouTube on Friday nights. I stream Animal Crossing all the time. But I started this game show, which is Deal or No Deal, but we call it Nook or No Nook.
Yeah.
Dude, it is a blast. It is so fun.
Explain to me how it works.
Okay, so here's how it works. I have 12 cases. 12 cases on the ground. I have a piece of paper, right, that I actually write down the 12 cases, and then I have dollar amounts in them. And the dollar amounts are anywhere from 100 bells to 1,000,000 bells. And they vary all in between. So before the person comes to my island, they pick a case that they want. And then I grab that case off the display, and I put it in a special case that has light shining up on it and stuff. Now, all the cases, when you open them up, they have money laid in it. But one case, when you open it up, has gold bars. So that way, you know I'm not cheating. That's the $1 million case. If you find that case, that's the $1 million case. So then I have my list of dollar amounts. So what happens is you pick the case you want before you come to my island. I put it on the side. Then you have to start in a process of eliminating cases across the board. And I'll say, like, the first round, I'll be like, okay, pick 3 cases. And I open those cases, and I reveal the dollar amounts. Then, after that round, I do math. And I go, okay, I will give you X amount of bells to walk away right now. Like,
so you're playing the banker.
I'm playing the banker. And I'm like, you have a guaranteed amount to get to walk away. And then they say Nook or No Nook. And then we go on. Then I say, okay, pick a couple more cases. And then if they do happen to get down to the final where they don't walk away, they can actually pick between their case and the final case that's left. And they pick which one they want. And then the object is for them to win 1,000,000 bells. The object for me is to get them to take the least amount of bells so it doesn't hurt me to get them off the island. So, but we're doing that today on Twitch. We did it Friday on YouTube, but we did it kind of late at night. Mm-hmm. So I thought, let's do it on Twitch during a really nice time frame where the European crowd can come out as well. Yeah. And the way we're picking contestants is through Discord. So I have a channel set up for Nook, No Nook, and I go in there and I'm like, okay, I write a number down, right? So on the back of my paper, I write a number right there, right? And then I go, okay, pick a number between 1 and 1,000, and the closest to that number will be the next contestant on the show. So it's all legitimate, all fair, and dude, it's a blast. It's so much fun.
Sounds fun.
It's so much fun. So anyway, that aside, so you reached out to me and you were like, hey man, I want to talk, I want to chat, I want to do some stuff. And I thought, you know what? Let's turn this into something a little different rather than just what Toby wants to talk about, because Toby's stuff is always boring. But we'll get into that stuff as well. But my thought process was usually this time of year, this month, this time, this week, we're prepared for E3. E3 is a thing. You and I both used to get hyped up for it, especially the Nintendo Digital event. Last year I watched it alone, but the year before, like previous years, we've watched it together.
Yeah.
Where we've both, like, I've taken off of work. You've been, you basically just tell your parents you're not coming into work. And then we would just sit there and watch the event together, live stream it. And it was always fun, So this week, it's not happening. And I'm a little curious. I want to do a couple of things here. I want to talk about, like, what do you think Nintendo would have done if things were normal and not as up in the air as they are? And where do we see the remainder of the year going for Nintendo? So let's start with what in your mind's eye, if the world doesn't go topsy-turvy, what do you think how do you think Nintendo would have handled the first half of the year better than what they obviously did?
What, before E3?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, obviously there's been a bit of a drought with the directs, and they've been drip feeding the information out, which actually, in hindsight, I quite like. The drop in a trailer here and there, and little bits of information. But I feel like we would have seen at least a normal direct earlier in the year.
Yeah. Probably like when? What do you think? Like April-ish, or
I think
March,
perhaps like February, March time. I reckon.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was going to be January.
Well, to be fair, we did get directs, but they weren't a Nintendo direct. They were more game exclusive directs that we were getting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think perhaps we would have got at least one sort of normal direct style presentation. And like normally, like you say, we get the E3 direct.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if things hadn't gone like they have, we would have got a big blowout celebrating Mario's anniversary.
Yeah,
this is the year, right?
This is the year he turns 35.
Yeah.
And it's the September, I think, is when it actually is officially the 35th anniversary.
Yeah.
But I also think that when you look to years past, they've always treated Mario's birthday as an event and done something special for it. And I kind of agree with you. And I think so. Right now we're in a situation where there was. Do you know about these leaks that hit about the Mario stuff?
How can you not know?
That's what I was going to say. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
So for those that don't want to know, just turn off or skip ahead 10 minutes or whatever. I would just say turn off the video.
Just put timestamps in, Bobby.
That's too much work.
Either way.
That's too much work. Maybe I will. But whatever. But the point is that you have a situation where it got leaked that Nintendo was going to do this gigantic Mario event where they were going to re-release, remaster Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy. They were also supposed to do something with a new Paper Mario, which Nintendo did announce that part of it. So because of the Paper Mario, it kind of makes me believe that the other stuff was legitimate. Like that was going to be a thing. Now, if we break down E3 is itself, the lead into E3, I think you're pretty much right. I think that we probably would have gotten a proper direct. I think Nintendo probably would have played their cards the same exact way they did.
Yeah.
The difference was that after Animal Crossing launched in March, I think at the end of March we would have gotten a proper direct. But I think right around the time Animal Crossing launched, everything kind of went topsy-turvy. And I think they were kind of just swimming to kind of figure out, what are we doing? How are we doing this? How are we adjusting to everything that's going on in the world? Where a lot of people were doing the same stuff. A lot of people were canceling shows and not showing up for shows. So I think it's pretty much the same degree. Now, as far as the show itself, I think Obviously, Nintendo does another digital event. That's a no-brainer. They do another Nintendo Direct at E3. I think, without a shadow of a doubt, that the booth is set up as a Mario event. And I probably feel like they probably would have done like 3D sculptures to do like kind of like a, rather than do a gigantic Mario world, I think they would have done like a timetable. Where like, hey, this is the, like, maybe a set where like this is the original Mario and it's all pixelated and stuff, and then you go on through the different eras. I also believe that with them releasing or announcing the release of these new games, my gut says they would have done like another tournament, but they would have geared it around those games with a surprise at the end, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Like, you mean like do like challenges, like who can get the star in this level?
Yes, who could get the star quickest on 64, and then in Sunshine, who can paint off the most paint within a certain amount of time, and then Galaxy, like who can get through this world in the quickest amount of time, and then maybe there's a surprise game that we don't know about that's going to come out, and that game gets the final, like, here's the final announcement, boom, you know what I mean, like this is what it's going to be, and that would have been amazing, like to see come full circle in my eyes.
So you feel like they are working on a brand new 3D Mario that perhaps they would have shown off. Even if
it was, I think they're working on something. I think that either, because again, when you think back to old Nintendo, and when I say old Nintendo, I mean pre-Switch, you had two teams. One team was working on 3DS games. One team was working on Wii U or Wii games or whatever was the different things at the time, right? So you had a handheld team and you had a home console team.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of merged. But I think with that merge, you still have the ability to go off and do different things. And I think they would have probably taken the B tier team, which worked on the handheld stuff, put them on the remastering. And I think they would have I think they still have the A team working on their 3D. So I believe we would have seen one of two things. Either we would have seen Odyssey 2, or there's still this thing that lingers in the back of my head that Kimishima said back in the beginning of the launch of the Switch, and that was the teams are working on Galaxy 3. And a lot of people just flubbed that off as, well, he just messed up and he meant Odyssey. But they don't do stuff, like, Nintendo's pretty smart. And Kimishima's a very smart guy. I don't see him messing up like that. So I wonder if there was a Galaxy 3, or if there is a Galaxy 3 in the works, and that was the big boom moment. Like, oh, by the way, the end of the year, in December, because to me it would make a little bit more sense to be like this build-up to it. I'm probably wrong, but still, that's in my head.
It would be nice. The Mario Galaxy games are some of my favorite 3D Marios.
They're pretty awesome.
I feel like they've kind of rinsed it dry, though, ideas-wise. And I feel like going back to that would be a bit of a regression now.
Well, refresh my memory. Did you like 3D World?
I thought it was all right.
Okay.
I wasn't a huge fan because it felt like a multiplayer game more than a standard Mario game. And I had these like pet peeves about it, like the way that the corner of the screen had that blue bar around it that would flash up all the time, and it just really irritates me.
So, okay, and then Odyssey, where were you? Where did you stand on Odyssey?
So Odyssey, like, I remember just being blown away by how creative they were with the cap abilities and everything. But I did feel at the end of it, after I'd finished it and put it down, I felt underwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they don't do a sequel to that. I hope they take it somewhere else. Or if they do a sequel, perhaps just take a bit more time on it.
I mean, dude, and we're saying 3D games. I mean, dude, they could totally come out with a brand new side-scrolling game that's totally different art style, which I've been screaming for forever. I hate the new art style. I hate it so much. I feel like it's lazy, it's weak, it's unimaginative. Like when you think back to, when I was a kid at least, and you were just a little tyke as well. But like you think about it, like you had Super Mario Bros. 1. Super Mario Bros. 2 looked totally different than 1. 3 looked totally different than 2. World looked totally different than all the rest of them. And then Super Mario Brothers, even Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, was totally different than the rest. Then they announced this new, and they've never created another art style since.
4 whole games.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. Yeah. And I just, for the life of me, don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. They could. I mean, who's to say that they don't turn around and go like, we're going to do Super Mario, the whole Super Mario 3D world aesthetics to it. Like they have that now.
Yeah, they've already actually done that in Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
There's the 3D world style, which is just that game on its side.
Yes.
So they could do that with Odyssey, make a 2D Odyssey style game.
Yeah, yeah.
Which would be interesting, but I feel like it's a little bit lazy.
Yeah.
If anything, perhaps just put that into the next Mario Maker game.
Well, the thing, too, that I like, or I would like to see, is the one thing I like about Donkey Kong Country games is when they play with the background and the foreground. Like, I love that. So if you were to take a Mario and do something similar where it's 2.5D, you're working with the background, you're working with the foreground, you're doing all that stuff. Because I think that team... I mean, look, man, nobody does a Mario game like Nintendo. Nobody does a 2D side-scrolling platformer like Nintendo. The controls are dead on always. I would love to have that in the wheelhouse. A game that they make. I don't want to play people's levels or people's worlds that they make. Like, I'm over that. Like, I've done it. I don't like it. People are not good level designers. And it's so hard to find good levels within Mario Maker. And I haven't been back in a while. So maybe I go back and dip my toes back in and see what the worlds look like. But, man, I just don't see that they're I want Nintendo to make me levels. I would love that. So, that aside... also, I think that we would have finally gotten something about Metroid at E3.
Do you think?
Yeah, I really do. I think now's the time.
Metroid 4, Prime 4, or Trilogy?
I think what would have happened. This is my belief. I think they would have done a trailer for Metroid Prime 4. Maybe the trailer runs 15 to 20, 30 seconds, not long. It's more of like just showing off some of the gameplay footage, showing off some things, some action shots and all that. Nothing that you could really sink your teeth in, but it would give Game Explain enough to make like 10 million minutes worth of video footage. To break down analysis of like, oh, you see this little ice chip in the background of this, like that nonsense crap that they do. You take that stuff, like that would have been what they would have happened, but I think they would have done that as a prelude, and then what would have happened is they would have announced Metroid Prime Trilogy Collection, and remastered for the Switch to get people on board, to get them to be like, here we go with all this stuff.
See, I think we would have had the white background, right, with the guy standing in the center saying, thank you for your patience on development. We're all working really hard, and we really want to be able to show you something, but we can't show you anything today. However, we have a game that we can show you directly. And then there'll be the trilogy trailer, and that will be coming out whenever, like end of the year.
Yeah. I think the trilogy, it's there. It's definitely there. I think it's something that they have in their back pocket. I think that the situation is... Obviously, you want to get that trilogy out for people to play because two things. One, it's gonna add cash flow to the company. Two, it's not that, I don't believe it's that costly to remaster or fix that game up, change the controls so they work with the Switch.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I think that that's definitely something that can be done and makes a lot of sense to me to do. I think that, and also it gives people the ability that have never played a trilogy game to play a trilogy game and also learn the storyline and know what's going on. Or not trilogy, a Prime game. I'm saying trilogy, a Prime game. So they can go and they can play Prime, learn the story, learn the mechanics, learn what's going on. That way when 4 comes out, it's not their first game.
Yeah. So, you know what? I think it's still going to come out.
The trilogy? I think it's definitely going to come out too. I just think that we lose the fanfare, and that's all, you know. That's a big thing.
Because, with people working from home at the moment, everything's getting delayed, as you know. But like you say, we think that this game's already done. Yeah. So if other games might be getting delayed, this is the perfect game to just slot in.
Now, I did hear a rumor that Nintendo has basically told all their third-party developers, if you have announcements to make, go ahead and make those announcements, that we're not really doing anything for the foreseeable future, which kind of is disheartening a little bit. I really thought that, in my heart, I really thought a lot of companies would still use the E3 window to go like, hey, we're not going to, okay, we understand what's going on with the pandemic. We're not going to Los Angeles, but we're going to still do something. But the problem is that, we're just now talking about, at least in the United States, we're just now talking about going back to work, in a serious manner. You know what I mean? Like where they're like, hey, we're opening back up again. We're going to start doing stuff. So if that's the case, then you got to think you've had 2 months where you're off in theory. You haven't been working. How bad does that mess your company up? Like in the Nintendo world, how bad does that mess them up? And how bad does that push timelines back for games that were close to being done,
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting.
How do you feel about E3 not being there this year?
It feels weird.
It just in general, because for me it's confusing. Right? Because we were all like, screw E3, E3 sucks. Like their vision of the future of E3 is going down. Like everyone was really negative on it.
Yeah.
And now it's actually not here. Everyone's like, okay, what now? Like how do we get our announcements?
The weird thing is, this is the weird thing. Like you said, pre-E3, everybody was screaming that it's the demise, and it's so this world we live in anymore. I just don't understand where people celebrate the demise of things. Like they celebrate the demise of GameStop. They celebrate the demise of Toys R Us. And then when it's gone, they cry that it's gone. And I'm like, I just don't understand this mental thought pattern that goes on with people. That being said, for me personally, I just feel weird. Like I'm so used to this being the hype. And the weird thing is I didn't even realize till this morning when I woke up that like this would have been the week.
Yeah, same here. Like I totally like it obviously it's a side effect of being at home constantly, not knowing what day it is, what month it is.
Yeah.
And it creeps up on you, and like you say, like I didn't even realize that this would be the time until you talked about discussing it.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is as well that there are digital events happening. You've got Jeff Keighley's thing, you've got IGN's thing. I think GameSpot might have a thing. Everyone's got their own little thing going on.
But they're happening later in the summer, right? They're not happening right now.
Jeff Keighley's thing is like an ongoing thing over the next month or two.
Yeah, but that's I haven't heard anybody excited about it because it's not a couple days.
Yeah,
it's spread out, so it feels different. It
exactly. Like I don't know when these things are happening. I can't keep track of them all, and it was so exciting back in the day where you could say, right, this day you've got Nintendo's Direct, and then the next day you've got PlayStation's thing, and you had set times where everyone would be in the same place, getting the information at the same time and talking about it. And now it's so sparsely spread out and sporadic that I just don't know what's going on anymore. I just, I open the internet and there's a new announcement, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's I didn't know that was happening. And there was like a whole indie showcase thing. I can't remember what they called it. It was like a direct thing, but it was just indie games.
Yeah.
And I'm all about that, but I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah.
I just heard people talking about it happen. So I think it's what's going on at the moment is terrible. Like we need to get this figured out.
Now, let me ask you a question. Because do you think that this is something that could pass on to Gamescom?
Yeah, I do.
Because Gamescom is the biggest showcase in the world. That has the most people, the biggest event. Now, has Gamescom been canceled this year, or
I think so.
Okay, so but moving forward, like I don't know if E3 comes back. And the funny thing is that I was talking to Carrie a couple months ago about this because she's big into WoW, right? And they do BlizzCon, and I started to think like that's what E3 needs to do. They need to transition. And the way that you transition, you pivot, is you make E3 a digital event where you have people that can go to the show and do all the stuff, right? But then you sell online tickets where you can get, like, depending on the package you buy online, you get, like, exclusive behind the scenes, like interviews with different developers, different stuff, like they showcase things further. So how cool would it be to be like, hey man, I want to buy the Nintendo package, right? And I spend $200 on this Nintendo package, right? And the $200 package gets me, obviously they're going to do the Nintendo Direct for the world, right? But then it's going to be like, hey, you're going to get, for $200, we're going to send you a t-shirt. We're going to send you demo codes for 3 Nintendo games that you're going to be able to play at home. You don't have to go to a place to play them. You can play them at home on your house. You put these codes in. They're time stamped for they die after like the week or something, right? You got them for the week, and that's what you can play them as. And then like you get like an interview with Miyamoto too, an exclusive interview with Miyamoto, right? Then like you go, okay, and then the 300 package is, same stuff that you get the 200, but then you get like behind the scenes of different events, like different, like if they're doing tournaments, you actually get to be behind the scenes and the cameras are back there and you're watching production and stuff, different things that you could do. But then maybe it's also like, man, you get an exclusive interview with Sakurai. Like these are different things that they do to up the price. And then if you're a Sony fan, they do the same thing on Sony side. And if you're an Xbox fan, they do the same thing on Xbox side. And like, I think it influxes people to do like, hey, you don't have to go to the event if you can't go to the event. I would personally eliminate the fans from the event altogether. Take it back to a media-only event. And then if you want to watch it, you want to be a part of it, you have to sign up for this stuff. And I think the way to do it is like, hey, if you want to spend like $500, you get everything across the board. You get Xbox, Sony, Nintendo. You get like, but the thing is Nintendo always did this thing where they did the Treehouse Live and they did also, and how do you convince people to pay for that exclusive stuff? But the only way you get them to pay is you have to offer stuff that is exclusive that's not even going to happen. You know what I mean? And that's where, like, you get a 30-minute interview with Miyamoto. Maybe it's a thing where it's chat, where you could type in. The people that bought this package could type in questions, and he answers questions from the audience, per se, I don't know exactly all the answers to it, but I think that if E3 wants to survive, they have to move some way into some form of digital event where people can access it from home.
It's interesting because I feel like I'm against paying for online convention stuff. Like I feel like that's, for me, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah. And
I feel like even if you did something like you said, where you get a package, all of that stuff's going to get shared and leaked out anyway for people that don't pay. Like at the end of the day, that's not going to remain behind a paywall.
Well, of course not. And essentially, do you want it to be locked behind? I mean, you want it to be locked behind at the minute it's going out.
Yeah.
But obviously, the stuff that's being said, you're going to want it to trickle out anyway. You know what I mean? You're not going to.
You know what? I think it's a good idea is if streaming like a PlayStation Now thing where you can remotely play or Google Stadia or whatever. So if you instead of downloading a demo, if you can stream it, then that way I think you could. The only way to play that is to pay for it.
And that, you know, and I'm okay with that. Even if that is all it is, right? Even if it's like, hey, listen, you're going to buy this package. This is where you're going to watch everything live right here through this thing. But by the way, we're going to release demos as each thing's talked about during the Treehouse Lives. So then, like, it'd be a thing of, here would be the thing. Okay, we're going to showcase Metroid Prime Trilogy in a few minutes. If you bought the package, your code is available now. We just emailed them out. Go in, you could download the game, you could play the demo for the rest of the week. You know, that type of stuff.
At least that's good for like content creators like yourself. Like people that want to have, you know, their thoughts on playing something, then that's probably a good avenue to go down. Yeah.
Is there any other, let me ask you a question before we move on. Is there any other games that you think, how do I position this? Are there any other games you think would have gotten announced that might not even get announced now? Or what things do you think are in the wheels that are potentially coming?
So it's tricky because when you think about what's coming up, you think, all right, so perhaps Mario remasters, Metroid trilogy, maybe 3D World re-release. These are all games that are old games. People played these before. They need something new.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot that we know about coming that is new.
Yeah.
You know, you got the new Breath of the Wild 2, but that's definitely not coming out this year now.
No way.
You know, they tend to have something Zelda related every year.
Yeah.
So rather than just re-releasing the HD Zeldas from Wii U, maybe they've got a new 2D Zelda. But then again, last year we had Link's Awakening. So it's like, what do you do? Like,
well, okay, so let's break that down for a second. So there was a couple of rumors. There was a rumor about a Link to the Past remaster. And I don't know what that looks like, per se.
Yeah.
You and I are both Link to the Past fans. That's our favorite Zelda game of all time.
Yeah.
Are you for it or are you against it?
I'm for it as long as they keep the original. Like, if they're going to sell it, have, like, the original available to play in the same package. I know, like, Nintendo Online, you can play it on Switch anyway, but, you know, if you're having, like, some physical release that celebrates A Link to the Past and it's got, perhaps it comes with an art book like your Xenoblade, but then, like, there's a new improved graphical style that's, like, hand-drawn and it's all fancy looking. That's great. I'd love to play that. Anything, if they want to add some extra dungeons, that's awesome. But keep the original intact as well.
Now, and I don't know this, and I'm actually asking you, because you are a massive Zelda fan, and you're up on everything Zelda, like ROM hacks and all that stuff. My curiosity question to you is, is there a difference between the Japanese version of Link to the Past and the American version or the European version that came out? Like, is there additional dungeons that were pulled off of that game, or are those games pure? Like, whatever you play is what you play.
The only difference, as far as I know, is some glitches are exclusive to the Japanese version.
Okay. So basically, the game is the game, and that's it. So if they did add anything, it would not be what was additional to, or it wouldn't be anything different than what was.
You know what they could do if they were to release it again? So you had the BS Zelda, the Satellaview Zelda, which, you know, if they tack that on, perhaps threw a randomizer in, like with the chests and everything being changed up, like a second quest.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing if we get a second quest on that game. Even now, if they were to bring it out and be like, "Hey, here's the original, but here's the master quest," like, because that's the thing.
Oh,
like, that
dude.
was. Because
speaking to me.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would play the Master Quest right out the box. Because I played the original so many times.
Yeah.
And there was a time in my life that I would literally just be like, okay, it's that time of year. We're going to go beat Zelda again. And I would play through that game every year and I beat that game, I think, the first 7 years that I owned it. Like once a year, I just took time to beat it. I loved it so much, man. To the point where I just knew the map like the back of my hand, and like I knew where I was going. I knew what I was doing. It's just so good, so good. Okay, before we wrap up though, I want to do this. Let's talk about some stuff that we've been playing. I know that you've been playing a couple of games, so we're going to talk about that. I've been playing one thing in particular new, so we'll jump into that as well. But let's start with you. Here's the thing. I know you've been playing Final Fantasy. Yeah. I know that it's not a Nintendo game, but man, I got questions about it, and I want to talk to you about it. So
let's do that in a separate video. Let's keep this Nintendo focus.
Okay, we'll keep this Nintendo focus. We'll do we'll do your Nintendo game now then.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry, people. Toby's being stubborn with the info. So later on this week we'll have a breakout and you can watch that. So okay. Okay, so what's the game you're playing?
I'm playing all sorts of games on Switch at the moment, Bobby.
Okay.
I'm playing, take your pick, right? I'm playing Moonlighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing Moving Out.
Okay.
I'm playing Minecraft Dungeons.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm playing Block Quest Maker.
Don't know what that is. Don't care.
So let's keep it to those four.
Okay. Let's do Minecraft Dungeons. Because I'm really curious about this game. I'm on the fence of buying it. It's only $20, right?
In the UK, 16.47 or something like
that. So
in
the United States, North America, it's $20. It's an impulse buy. This is basically just a dungeon crawler, and it's like Diablo, but with Minecraft.
Yeah.
So talk to me. Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
So first of all, it's more Diablo than Minecraft because there's no crafting in the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a paint job, with the enemies and the art style and everything. It's kind of it's more like focused on fun than depth, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only like an hour or two into it, so when I was playing it local co-op with my wife, and a little bit of a negative is the frame rate takes a hit.
Okay.
And I've heard that on Xbox One X, it's proper smooth. It's really great co-op.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit disappointed, but other than that, it's a lot of fun to play because you go through the level. The levels are procedurally generated, and I didn't realize that at the time. So kudos to them that they made these automatically generated levels feel handcrafted.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It's top-down isometric. You're going through, you're slaughtering enemies, you're getting loot, you're upgrading your character.
Okay, so the question is when the game starts, you just build a character?
Yeah, there's like a bunch of preset characters that you can choose from.
Okay.
And there's some you can get as DLC straight away.
Okay.
So you pick your character, they plop you. There's a little bit of a backstory about some, they call them illagers.
Okay.
Like villagers, but villagers.
Yeah.
But like you're just trying to stop some evil thing, so they just throw you into the level, and it's cool because you get this map, and you get to choose different biome levels, so you can jump into the mountains or the swamp or the fields or whatever, and so you can go from level to level however you want.
Now, when you play this game, you haven't played online with people. You just played
not yet.
Strictly local
just
co-op.
Local co-op.
Because I'm curious how easy it is to jump in and out of games with people. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sean was streaming this on Twitch, and he was playing with Ryan Turford, and they were playing on Xbox, and it was very simple for them to connect and play together, which I hope would be the case because Xbox, Microsoft knows what they're doing with stuff like that. There's no crossplay though yet, right? It is working, but I don't think there's crossplay yet.
Okay, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but I'd imagine there will be, because I'm sure that's on Minecraft.
That's a Minecraft thing, yeah, Minecraft thing. So you're liking it so far? So far, so good.
I am liking it. It's got this interesting thing that you have. You earn like little runes, and you can upgrade your armor and your weapons with these runes. Yeah. And every time you upgrade, you get to pick a different ability to link to your weapon or whatever. Yeah. So, and the abilities are randomly generated. So you can spend the runes on your armor and that, and upgrade. And then if you pick up a new piece of armor or a weapon that's better than the one you currently have, you don't necessarily lose the runes that you've spent on your old ones, because you can dismantle your current weapons, and then get rid of them, scrap them, and then the runes that were on those old weapons you can just put on your new weapons.
That's very, very much like Diablo, like where you start you're destroying, breaking down items and weapons and stuff. Like it's man, it sounds like it's something I would play, definitely.
And it's just so chill. Like you have, the bar at the bottom, you've got like your health on one side, and then you have 4 or 5 different abilities linked to the face buttons, and they've got cooldowns. So it is very Diablo-like, and it's very casual, and it's just a chill time. Like, I'd say it's the perfect sort of game if you just want to have a chat with your buddy whilst mindlessly going through levels.
Sounds pretty cool.
There's lots of exploration as well. Like they have like a what do you call it? A marker that tells you where to go on a map.
Yes.
And that's like, all right, that's your main objective. But you can still just go off and explore the level and find hidden treasure and all that stuff. Yeah.
Sounds pretty awesome. It does. Yeah. And it sounds like something that I definitely want to check out and try. Maybe we'll hook up and play some online stuff together.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
So I've been playing Clubhouse Games 51.
Ah, dude, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's I haven't played a lot, you know what I mean? Because Animal Crossing just has its hooks me so damn deep I can't get away from it. But I tinkered with it. I played a little bit. I'm enjoying it. I don't really necessarily know how the online stuff works because I haven't touched any of that yet. But the games that are there, I like. There's one thing that I hate that the Switch does. Hate this with a passion. Is if I pick a game and I have to use Joy-Cons, I literally can't get out of that game unless I switch over to Joy-Cons.
Yeah, so I heard about that.
Yeah, so I picked bowling the other day, and it was like you could either play with touchscreen or you can actually use the Joy-Cons and bowl. And I'm like, I don't want to do this game now. I didn't feel like doing it that way. And I couldn't back out. My Pro Controller went dead. It wouldn't reconnect. I had to literally pull the thing out of the dock, go back out. It was like, this is so frustrating. So that's one thing that I wish Nintendo would like just move away from in the future, because that's not just this game. That's a lot of games where it just it kills the thing. So hopefully that gets rectified moving forward. So we'll see. But otherwise, it's good. It's got a lot of games, man. I played checkers. That was fun. I didn't touch chess yet, which I probably will a little bit tinker with that. I played Connect 4, which I can't beat the computer to save my life, and I don't know why. I haven't played the game. I used to be so good at that game as a kid. Now I can't. And it's like, it's tough because the computer don't fall for your tricks. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing as a kid, like, you could set people up. Yeah. The computer just sees right through it. So it makes it a little tough. But I like it. I like the challenge. It makes it fun. Checkers I won. That was fun. But yeah, I played some blackjack. Horrible at that. Played Texas Hold'em. Played some poker. That was fun. But I'm really curious how the online interacts and how you can connect with people and play with people online. So I got to figure that out. Probably I'll talk to Sean about that later because I know he just bought it too. It's a $40 game, so it's not necessarily, I don't feel, a budget game. Yeah. I feel like the price might be a little overrated. I also play baseball and soccer. They have tabletop baseball and soccer, which is like the old school tabletop games. Really kind of cool, man. It's just really kind of neat how they do it. So I'm happy with it so far. I feel like it's a fun game. I think the money.
It does look fun. I feel like there's a whole bunch of games in there I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Like all the Japanese games.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there I don't know.
And, you know, I feel like it'd be fun to learn them, but
Yeah.
I'm also a little bit disinterested because I've never played them before, and it makes no sense to me. So
Yeah, I agree.
I feel, you know, I almost feel like I'd rather just pick and choose like 20 games and only pay for those ones.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So, for now, that is all we have. Thank you guys for watching, listening, whatever you do to check this out. You can follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. Check out Toby over on Twitter, at Toby's_take. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Ciao.
Keep waiting on the winds of change to blow. Gloves up, ready, set, come on, let's go. Tick tock on the clock, you're out of time. The world's a mess, but I'm feeling fine. This is my revelation, yeah. Look into my eyes and see the world of possibilities. This corner of the world is mine. I'm about to pull back the curtain and I'll blow your mind. This is my life. This is my life in motion.
It's actually still moving. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. What are you on about over there?
It's 10 past 11. It's nearly afternoon.
It's 10 past 11. All right, let me see. Okay, there you go. Right there. That's perfect. Dude, first things first. What is with the hair?
Look, I was going to cut it this morning, but Evie was having a bad morning, so I didn't have time.
So that means I got to suffer because Evie's having a bad morning. I got to look at that head because Evie's having a bad morning.
You're suffering?
Yes.
It's my pleasure.
Well, you know what? This is not okay in my eyes. It's been, I figured it's been months since we've talked face to face. You'd have taken a couple extra precautions, a couple steps to impress me.
Bobby, we're in lockdown. I ain't got time to be going out and getting my hair cut.
Dude, go buy a pair of clippers. Cut them yourself.
I do that anyway.
Just shave your head, man.
I'm making excuses.
Exactly. Oh, boy. Okay.
Is the lighting good? Is the lighting okay?
Well, the lighting's never good. You know that.
I can do this.
That did nothing. What the heck was that?
Yeah, it lit up this side of my face. All right?
You think so?
Yeah.
It went ting, ting, ting. Kind of ancient light. Oh, that's real good. Will it get brighter? That's a bit much.
You sure?
Come on, don't start.
This is good, Bobby.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning for me. Don't start. Okay. All right. Are you?
Yeah, it's better with it on. I'll leave it on.
Yeah, leave it on, but don't like put it like that. That's okay. Leave it where it is. You got a little bit of. Yeah, you're fine. It's as good as it's gonna get. That's fine.
Oh, this is no good.
I've not missed this at all. Oh God! All right, are you ready?
I was born ready.
Okay. we're gonna make this fun. This could be good. Okay.
Are we doing Geek Outs?
We can if you want.
Let's do Geek Outs.
Okay,
Bobby.
we'll do like it's gonna be Nintendo talk. We'll do an episode. Okay. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of Nintendo Talk. I am Bobby.